Brainiacs, welcome to another episode of the Brain Candy Podcast, episode 582, and I am Susan Marie Meister Butler.
Sarah Whitney
Louise
Rice.
Sarah Whitney Louise Rice.
Louise Rice.
You know how when you get confirmed in the Catholic Church and you have to pick a Catholic name, and then it's always like...
Nope, I do not know. No, you're asking me, you're saying that like it's a normal thing.
So it'd be like Susie, Rebecca, some biblical, or a saint, or like some Teresa of Avila.
That feels a little redundant with the first name Sarah.
That's true. That's true.
Or gratuitous.
You're
or
good.
The word is.
But that Louise is like your brain candy confirmation name.
Oh, yes. This is good.
Yeah,
that is great. And you know what? We learned in the last book club meeting that everyone's middle name is Marie.
Yeah, right. Marie had a real moment in the 80s and maybe early 90s. What was that?
It I want to say it's one of those geez Louise things. It just sounds right. Something oh, Marie,
here's everybody's middle name: Marie, Lynn, Lee.
Oh, Lynn.
Ann. Had a big moment.
Ann. Sally Ann, Elizabeth Ann, Rebecca Ann, Jamie Ann.
Syllable ones like Lynn and Ann, they make sense to me, or Lee. But Marie, where'd she come from?
Right.
She was hogging that middle name
Marie
property.
Ooh, it is so windy outside right now. The tree on the patio just blew down.
Spooky.
Can it be spooky when it's so beautiful and sunny outside? Should I give you guys on the video a video hint of what that looks like?
Yeah, let's
Can I
see
even
it.
do that? Is that
Sorry,
even possible?
if you're not on Patreon, you're missing out.
I forget that we're actually recording.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be my bed that I'm sleeping on that you see, and that's outside. Ooh.
Oh, it is windy. Sarah's not lying about that.
Ooh. And then you see the rando mattress on the floor that I'm sleeping on in my mom's house, which is
But
fun.
I forget. I think this was off the air. I was telling her, or no, it was on the air about how you should have a mattress on the floor. How it's good for you, in old age.
Get up and down.
Yeah.
Right. Also, I had to make my mom a makeshift bed in the living room, so that's where the other mattress is, because usually it's higher. Anyway,
my goodness.
It's neither here nor there.
Sarah has.
How are you, Susie?
I'm doing okay. I am super excited about the thing that we added to Patreon, where you can become a close friend to us on Instagram. So you join on Patreon, and then we add you to our close friends list on Instagram. I'm just having so much fun.
Susie discovered Instagram stories, it feels like.
Well,
she's like,
no.
oh, I can just videotape this funny thing I'm doing. She's always been my biggest, Sarah, videotape this, or let me get this video of you, and she encourages me to post it.
Yeah.
But now you're doing the same, and I love the content.
It's not that I didn't know about it or didn't think I would enjoy it. I knew that I would. Oh. It's that I didn't want everyone to be able to see stuff.
Right. Well, now it's secret and special. I know something you have to put on there, which I can't believe I haven't even asked you or your son about.
Oh, my God.
Did you notice in your Christmas gift one of the best gifts that I think I've ever given anybody? I don't want to toot my own horn, but you needed to own this item. Tell people.
Okay, so you might recall Sarah threatened to buy me this a couple months ago. She decided that it was very important that my cats be able to dress up as bats. Friggin' bats.
Friggin' bats.
And then she followed through on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just thinking, why haven't we talked about them yet?
Right.
I feel bad.
I was worried about sizing. Did they fit?
Right. I have not tried them yet.
The wings?
I will, though.
Oh, my gosh.
And that will
you haven't tried them yet? I'm lucky I didn't steal a cat to try it on. I was so excited about this thing.
Maybe my favorite part of opening the cat bats was Adam's befuddlement about why you would do that. And I kept trying to explain it, and he was like, I don't get it.
This is more of a gift for me than it was for you. Selfish.
Yeah.
Oh.
When I do it, and I will do it, I will share
It's
it.
going on stories?
It'll go, should I put it on close friends? As like,
Yes, close friends. That's what
Okay.
we call it, close friends. It's going on the close friends.
I
am just giddy right now because a part of me forgot about. There's been a lot that's gone on.
Yeah, right.
And so a part of me forgot about that, and then I was reminded.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about because there was so much going on. Susie also gave me one of the best gifts I've ever received, which is something that called the Hug Me, I think it's called.
Hug sleep.
Hug Sleep.
Which I also threatened on the show to buy for you, but you don't remember anything, so it was like new information.
Yeah. It was. I'm not okay. So I after this, I feel like I will do like a special video. I'll do it on my close friend story of me getting in and out of this thing.
Okay.
Because it's so.
I love it.
So it is what I can only describe as like a body condom.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And anytime I am in the room with anybody else and put this thing on, they look at me like I'm
so
out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's really tight and like this spandexy kind of form-fitting material.
Yeah.
That makes you feel like you're swaddled.
Yeah.
And no matter what position you get into, it's like a nice, tight hug. And you guys know how I feel about that. And it's just like wonderful. I put it on like to show my mom because I brought it with me to Costa Rica because I'm like, I need some good night sleeps. I put it on and then just sat down to watch a TV show, fell right asleep.
You didn't.
Yes, in the middle of the afternoon.
Well,
It really is like... It really is like
an adult
like
swaddler.
Yeah. So thank you,
Sarah
sis.
had said during her TikTok extravaganza period, she talked about her
My TikTok renaissance.
interest and enjoyment of, but like being tied up and stuff, and kink culture. And then
Yes.
she talked about how she learned that a lot of people with ADHD find it soothing and pleasurable and whatever. And I
Yes.
had just seen that Shark Tank where they pitched this, sharks, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, who is going to buy that? Why would anyone want that? Apparently there's a market for it.
And it's one of those things that like you're thrilled when it works. Like it really works. Like they deserved
Yeah.
to be funded
To make a
because
deal.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
it really. This is not
This
an
is
ad.
not an ad.
But if Hug Sleep. I haven't gotten the copy yet. So if Hug Sleep wants to sponsor us,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh,
Testimonial.
highly recommend.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of people will appreciate that.
Yeah, there was something else that was on there. Oh, the hiccup thing. That worked.
Yes. Yes.
Dude,
Sarah
that
got me
works,
the cure
and
for
it's
hiccups.
crazy. And it was one of those where like they send you two, and I got to keep one, and so I tried it.
Yep.
It fucking
Me too.
works
It works like
in
a charm.
one sip.
Like all this
Thank you,
hubbub
Shark
about
Tank.
how there's no cure. That was on Shark Tank too?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
I'm
thank
pretty sure.
you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have the video of you putting on the hug sleep. You should put that on your close friends.
I definitely will.
Okay. Anyway, you people that aren't on close friends are like either going to really hate this or love this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with a discussion. Oh, I wanted to make you feel a little better about your own mom's situation because whenever I did the suggestion box for our listeners, like, what do you guys want more of or whatever, a lot of people apparently want to hear more about like my life because I tend to just talk about like what I've read and stuff. So here's just a little story about Peg Meister. She was just texting me the other day, like normal stuff. And then I'm like, what are you up to? And she's like, oh, just dealing with fire restoration over here. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh.
That implies there was once a fire.
Yes, right, that I know nothing about. And I do see her, although it has to be outside now because she's not vaxxed. And believe me, it's cold. So you know how much I love her to hang out with her in the cold. Oh, God. Anyway, so she's like, oh, yeah, I had a big fire in the kitchen. Everything's ruined, whatever. Then I hear the whole story.
Not the picnic table!
Right. Not the 2 square feet of hell that is her kitchen. Yes. And so she's telling me the story. It's a grease fire. What do you do with a grease fire? And what do you not
put water on it.
And what did Peg do?
Put
Right. She's like, I don't know why it didn't go out. It got bigger. So then I said,
She had multiple children.
Yes.
You guys all lived.
It's a miracle. Every day she would pray that the Lord would keep a, quote, hedge of protection around us. And I'll tell you, that hedge is working overtime.
Shout out to prayer.
Shout out to prayer. Shout out to Jesus.
Shout out to Jesus.
Okay, so she put water on it. She couldn't figure out why it was growing.
Oh, my God.
At no point in this story did she think, this is a job for the fire department. Not once did she think I should call 911. She ran out into her yard, called a neighbor over. He came over, put more water on it.
No!
Yes.
Stop it! Stop it!
Sarah's dying.
This is like how many people from Pittsburgh does it take to screw in a light bulb? I don't want to, like...
Well, and you know how Sarah has, or had, or maybe still has...
People from Pittsburgh, do not at me. I love you guys. Yins. I love yins.
Aw, that's... All is forgotten. She just said yins.
Okay.
No, for real, like, it's a miracle the woman's alive. And eventually
okay,
they
what
did
kind
get
of
out.
have you assessed the damage?
I can't hear you. Where'd
No.
you go, ma'am? Did you have it muted?
Hello? No,
It's fine
not
now.
At all. I
That
didn't
was
do
so
anything.
weird.
It's weird.
Okay.
We never know. Sometimes,
Anywho.
you know. Probably Mercury in retrograde or something. Have you assessed the damage? Is what I
She
said.
sent pictures. I won't go into that COVID den, but
Well,
she
right.
she sent
Natural.
pictures, and then she was like, "Okay, well, I better go buy new appliances and stuff." I'm like, "Well, did you call your insurance company?" And she's like, "You can do that." My mom doesn't know how to be a person. It is fascinating. I'm like, why do you think you pay for insurance? Like, what would it cover if it did not cover a fire?
A fire, right?
Anywho, she's fine.
Okay? Can we please, like, okay, guys? Look, there was another situation in which Susie's mom had the opportunity to replace her carpets, and in doing so, I can't get over this. I never will. Took maroon. So the carpets were maroon carpets from, we'll say, what, 1970?
No. Mauve had a moment in, like, it was 1990s. It was like 94 or something.
Okay, 1994. It's been a while.
Been a while.
She, like, new carpets came, and rather than picking an updated color, went with the exact same color.
Yeah.
The same so can you tell her that she doesn't have to get the same appliances? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Tell her there are new appliances from Sarah.
Yes, I will tell her. That's so true. And I'm excited that she gets new stuff. The woman deserves something.
Me too. Yeah.
And I also got her, my sister. I made my sister order her a fire extinguisher because that needed to happen.
Yes, please. Did she pray about wanting new kitchen appliances or something like that?
Not that I
need to
know of.
I'm going to ask her, because my mom one time really was like, oh, man, I want a kitchen remodel so bad. I could really use a new stove. Pipe burst, flooded the kitchen, had to remodel the whole kitchen. So I wonder if this is when secret prayers were answered thing. I like, because...
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
It applies to all.
It applies.
Yes. And by the way, if you're not privy, the mispronunciation was intentional. Sarah and I are writing a book called Be Careful What You Wish For. And
so
it's going to be great. Anyway, so that's Susie's personal story of the week, if that's what you want.
I love that. I don't love any mishaps or fires, but I love a Susie personal story of the week.
I was thinking about how you have a phobia of fires, and I was like, the only way that story can be
it's gone
worse-
now.
Okay.
P.S.
Okay. Cured.
It was, you know what it is learning how to light my own.
Right. And you
know
realize
how fucking
how
hard it is to start a fire?
Yeah. And
like,
rest assured,
damn near impossible.
Peg,
in the dry weather, in Colorado, with everything working for me, still can't make it happen. So...
Well, and the reason Peg had a grease fire is because she's lived in that house for 60 years and probably has never, ever cleaned out the vent or hood ever.
Yeah, right.
So she goes, it was a big ball of grease up there. You should have seen it.
I can't. Oh, my God. I had a friend that I am now no longer close with because of, things that happened during political...
The last 5 years.
Yep, the last 5 years. But I used to, for her birthday, clean her house. I'd go over there and give her and I remember one time, it had been a couple years, and I cleaned the kitchen, and I was like, I think nobody is ever going to clean this part, and that's not...
Some
because
people
I don't think there's the
that.
knowledge that you got to clean this thing out, or else this is dangerous. Same with lint traps. Same with the thing around the dryer. That's what my brother says.
Yeah.
Check. I asked my brother, who's a firefighter, what do I actually need to be worried about? Because that, you got to ask the people who know. What do I need to be worried about? And he said carbon monoxide, I believe, was one thing. So have the carbon monoxide thing because you can't smell it like you can gas.
Yeah.
And checking the dryer traps and make sure there's no bend in the hose. That dryer hose that connects. Because what'll happen is somebody will go, oh, I lost a sock behind there. The sock, you pull it out, then you push it back in, and it gets kinked, and then stuff gets trapped there. Bad news bears.
Yes, that's a good tip. And I can't believe how many people do not clean out their lint traps. What are you guys doing? It takes 2 seconds.
2 seconds. And put a trash can next to your... Because that's the problem. Sometimes they're like, I don't want to touch it. Put a little trash bag or trash can next to if you're like me.
You don't want to touch it?
No, I don't know why. I know it's clean, too. It just feels like dust. And I think it's a texture thing, and I don't know...
Okay.
Oh, my God, I'm getting itchy thinking about it. You know how Lincoln doesn't like certain fabrics?
Yeah.
It's satisfied to get it out, but I don't... It feels like it's dusty, and I have a dust mite allergy that's really bad. So I have this, mental thing that it's all dust mites that I'm picking up, which is dumb. I know it's not true.
But that really struck me. That was a good one. You were so sincere about it, like it was a disease that you have. I have a dust mite allergy.
No, but it's really bad. I can watch them burrow into my fucking skin and have an allergic reaction in front of my eyeballs, and then I can even take tweezers and pull them out. You think you could put a piece of tape on my arm and pull it up, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a little dust mite that's burrowing into your fucking skin right now. I don't know what to do about this. I hate it.
You're an original. This is what is so... There is no one else like you in all the land.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to be single forever. And I thought we were talking about Susie's personal stories, not mine. Fuck!
If you are single forever, then they are missing out because every day would be an adventure with you.
Every time I see somebody who's cuckoo crazy on one of those 90-day fiancés or whatever it is, and they're with a partner, oh my gosh, see, I have a bump right there. It's probably from something like this. Look, I'm going to hold it up to the camera, and you can see. Do you see that bump right there?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's probably from frickin' dust mite that just landed on me or something. You just heard me talking about him. Fuck you, dust mite.
She's not
right
joking. There. This is what's crazy about this story.
I'm actually not joking. Look, it's on the tip of my finger.
A dust mite is on your finger?
Whatever that is, or something. Oh, it just, I swear, I'm a mess. I am. Anyways, this is
so great. God damn. Okay, well, you know what else is great? It's Best Fiends.
Oh, you know what? That helps get my cuckoo crazy mind off of all of everything and onto something
calming.
I love my Best Fiends.
Yes, Best Fiends is the perfect balance of soothing and stimulating. I don't know how to describe that.
This is accurate.
But it is. It's kind of like a crossword puzzle in that way, And
it's satisfying.
It's very satisfying.
Challenging. And adorable with cute little stories.
Yes, it's so fun. They update it all the time, so there's always some new fun things. There's great puzzles that, like I said, will stimulate you, keep you engaged, but will allow you a break from all the craziness of life. And all those boring moments when you're just waiting at the DMV or whatever, fill that up with some fun stuff. You can make your own fun. Yes. Lots of
I use it with my mom. I told her to download it because... Remember when we had Jane McGonigal on and we talked about how playing games helps with pain?
Yes.
So she needs something to distract her from the pain and from anything going on. And she was Googling her symptoms. So I'm nope, let me put something on your phone.
Yeah.
Hang out with these little guys instead.
That's exactly right.
No problem.
And now you can play, too. It's super fun. Download Best Fiends free today on the App Store or Google Play. That's Friends without the R, Best Fiends. So much fun. Okay. So, first up...
I hope this is one of those moments where one of our listeners is like a dermatologist, like in dermatology school.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like the what's like NHL assistant coach or whatever it was who like got his mole diagnosed. And they're going to be like, no, what you really have, it's like this thing that's at. And if anybody says folliculitis, I know. We already know that. I need another differential diagnosis, please.
So you have maybe... in the same way that you have folliculitis, just an overall sensitivity, it sounds like, to the environment.
Yeah, I have an overactive immune response.
Well, that's handy, though.
It is exacerbated by stress. So
the last couple years have been great.
Go. She says as she sips her glass of Chardonnay, which is not her favorite, but Mom's favorite, so that's what we're drinking.
Right. Have you ever heard an old woman talk about wine? They inevitably say they love a buttery Chard. Like, it's like who told them all to love buttery Chardonnay?
I don't know. Or and if somehow the word oaky is thrown in there.
Oh yeah.
That'll work.
A touch of elegance there.
Oh my gosh. Dude, hit the nail on the head there. And it's making me like this wine less as I drink it.
Okay. Well, I read a book called Columbine that it's not new. I think it's 10 or 12 years old, but it had been recommended and it was on my list and I finally read it. Oh, it was incredible. The book was incredible. And it was one of those ones where you keep the light on in your dark room and just keep reading and you don't want to go to bed. One of those.
Wow.
Because I feel like everything we thought we knew about Columbine, we were wrong about. And that was unbelievable. Just, the narrative that I think was said on that day, usually with tragedies, there is a lot of confusion and you have conflicting stories and weird anomalies, and then you settle in on the truth. But it seemed like what happened with that was that all those conflicting stories and stuff just got solidified and repeated a million times over, and then the mythology of it was formed, and that was it. Yeah. So a lot of what we think we know is just incorrect. The mythology of that time was these guys were bullied. They were in the trench coat mafia.
Yes. This is a very nice, thing to discuss after our Marilyn Manson conversation.
That was in the book about how they blamed Marilyn Manson incorrectly. Also, they didn't have any kind
Which
of...
is why I didn't suspect him and didn't believe the allegation. So it's like the myth... Okay, continue. This is fascinating.
And so the truth really is that Eric Harris was essentially a textbook sociopath. And then Dylan, his accomplice, was more depressive and had suicidal ideation. But then being around Eric, he kind of got sucked in to that mode instead. I think if Eric didn't exist, Dylan may have just took his own life or just got through high school like most depressed teens do. And so that was disturbing because then you really think what a shame because he got caught up in it. And part of what made the book so unbelievable is that it's so pedestrian and there really isn't the smoking gun, for lack of a better word, of here's why this happened.
You can't really explain it away like that.
Pretty much they seemed, they had issues and got in trouble and even got in trouble with the police once, but a lot of teenagers do.
Right.
And so
both my brothers have.
Right. I mean, it's so common. Male rage and male rage amongst teenagers is not uncommon.
Right.
And I think that's what made the book so you just kept turning the page because you just keep wanting an explanation. And even that, do you know the famous sort of narrative about the girl who said yes when asked if she was a Christian, and then she said yes, and then he killed her?
Yeah.
Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
And the mom even wrote a book called She Said Yes. That didn't happen. Like, we have the 911 recordings. We know what was said and what wasn't said. It didn't happen. But it was so comforting, I'm sure, to a lot of people that just kept being repeated. Yeah. Stuff like that. And how the stories we tell about our lives and other people's lives to help us survive, as Joan Didion said, that they're not often the true story. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, one of my professors was the trauma counselor that flew out there to work with the students and teachers, and like still goes for anniversary events and to speak about it. Well,
and those kids certainly were, traumatized, as any victim of these type of things would be. But because it was sort of the first and biggest national news, and it was already on CNN before the killers were even out or killed.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about that happened right after my road rules, like the next year. And Timmy and I from the show were driving across country, and when it was happened, and we stopped there and went to the hospital.
Susie!
Yeah, we visited with the victims in the hospital.
Oh my gosh, what an experience.
Yeah, it felt like...
What was that like?
Well, when you visited the property at the time, there were these cross, memorials where you could go and leave flowers and things. And it was on the school property. But I don't remember thinking in that moment, like, these people died here. It feels like untrue or unreal, like a movie maybe or something.
It was so new. You didn't have even a frame of reference for it. Now we understand what that means. This is something you didn't even... School for you had a totally different... like I say with clients, if you were to... Our brain is kind of like a file cabinet, and if you were to pull out the file label school, there is not a single page in there with school shootings.
Yeah, it's
now,
like the boat when they didn't recognize the boat.
Yep. Exactly. And now we go and pull that out, and there's an entire tab marked school shootings and danger on campus.
Right. Yeah, it did. I just didn't have the understanding of what it was.
Oh,
and then
Suze.
I was so glad to be able to visit with them, and everyone was very lovely and nice, and it was a special time, but it felt hollow because... What the hell do I have to offer?
No, but I think it says a lot, that you go there and that you are part of that, especially at that time, that you were a public figure. You're like that age, that demographic. You fit. You're what they're watching on TV. That means a lot. That's really amazing that you went and even put yourself in that position to see that and experience that and have to kind of grapple with those emotions and everything that comes from that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know that about you. You didn't tell me that.
I didn't even tell Adam, and I was like, did you know that I went there? And he's like, no.
But
gosh, I don't know. You know how it is? Maybe this isn't true for you, but there's a weird thing about life before the internet. I mean, the internet existed at that time, but it certainly was not like it is now.
Because we didn't have reminders of our memories.
Yeah.
Memories are, how they say, the only time that when you revisit them, they become entrenched and, strengthened and most of the time conflicted.
And changed, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That if you're not revisiting them, there's a lot of stuff. That's why you hang out with your siblings and all of a sudden they tell you stories, or you see a picture of something and it reinforces your memory of it. If we're not doing those things, and we have time hop and all this stuff that reminds us of constantly having memories reinforced even when we didn't ask for them.
Yeah,
not
for better
even
or
good
worse.
ones too. Can they stop showing me pictures of my exes? Thank you. I digress.
That's funny to me because I can't hear you again. But
oh my gosh,
I
you
could
just saw
see
me
you
yelling.
on Zoom, and I know that you
I
were
hope
being
it records
animated.
the audio. Can you hear me now?
Now I can't hear you. It's like it knows, like it wants to protect me from your
Yeah, it's like
outbursts.
she's getting angry.
For real.
This is nothing you need to hear. Protect your ears.
Yeah, there's a weirdness in my mind about those pre-internet memories that they just feel, I don't know, there's a distance there, and they just don't come to mind as much, as you said. Anyway, the book is tremendous, and I especially loved hearing more about psychopathy and how that looks, and they were very nuanced and careful to talk about how, you know, we imagine them to be sort of the boogeyman, but really it's like Hugh Grant, like charming and, you know, intoxicating. That's why they're so effective.
Right. Ted Bundy.
Yeah. You know, they know
everyone
how to read people. They know how to lie really well. And that's actually what makes them so dangerous, is that you don't suspect them to be. Unless you're married to them or something.
I can feel my heart rate increase, like rising as you talk like that.
Well, because Sarah, you're like a target. I've noticed this about you because you're so optimistic.
Oh, gullible, 100%. Like, no, I know it is because I give people the benefit of the doubt to a fault.
Yeah, and it's
and
so
I
nice.
am a fucking prey.
Right.
Yep, that's true. Oh. I don't know.
Where'd you go in your mind just then?
Just that it happens everywhere.
Right. Right. And so I think there's a lot of people like you, especially women, who can get, you know, manipulated by these cuckoos. And like you said, remember when I asked you, like, what can we do for people that are psychopaths? And you said nothing. Like, it's not really something we can fix. And the book said that. And, like, the words were...
I love when the books confirm things that I say.
I can't... Go ahead, sorry.
You can't hear me?
I can. Go ahead. What'd you say?
Okay, God, I thought you were going to say that. I don't want to switch the subject, but before I forget, speaking of things that I don't know, remember when I thought sea shanties were houses by the sea? And they're actually songs that people sing, and I had no idea what that word was.
I like that.
And then, like, so many people were like, are we going to tell her?
Right. Who's going to tell her?
Who's going to tell her? So,
I
was real wrong.
I wasn't like, oh, it's like, what would you do with a drunken sailor? I didn't know they were called that.
And don't you think a shanty is a nice name for a seaside house?
It
like,
is.
not a nice house, but like a kind of like a shanty.
A little something.
Did I just...
A little bungalow.
Like a bungalow. Yeah, it's like a sea shanty. That's not a thing. No,
it's like a sea shanty. She thinks if she says it enough, it'll be
I'm
true.
like, if I say it and shrug my shoulders at the same time, it's got to, like, make it a thing, right? Like,
I hate, but kind of don't hate, how the glee that people get when we fuck up that bad.
Oh.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's fine. But you know what it's made me do in my life? I don't correct people at all when they're wrong about things.
Okay.
Because I don't, like... And I don't point things out, like, because I ask myself who's going to benefit. I kind of run it through a filter of who's going to benefit right now and what. If it's something that I think the person would, like, you know, you're saying that, like, this is not actually true, then maybe I'll tell them. But if it's just, like, there was somebody who, like people who use jokes that I know belong to a comedian.
Oh,
but they say, I'm just like.
Let them have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's I guess so.
I used to point things out all the time, and I definitely got, like, because I'm like, who's going to, so what? They're going to feel dumb or feel, like, embarrassed or ashamed or whatever it is to feel like that. I'm going to feel, what, good? Question mark? For doing what? Knowing this information? Congratulations, gold star. You've watched more TV. Like, I run myself through that, and I'm like, not worth it to make somebody feel. The trade-off is,
well,
just laugh, haha, the end.
The exception to that would probably be, you know, if a guy at a party was being obnoxious and taking credit for jokes that weren't his, I might.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
I should have prefaced with this. None of this applies to straight white males.
I love this.
None of it.
Phone
In
knows
fact,
that she's yelling.
I yelled at another one. I yelled at one of those guys the other day, because he needed a lesson about science my mom and I were having a nice little time by the pool, and a guy who lives in this complex who last time I was here, I left his restaurant that he owns like a hotel restaurant, and I walked out of there because of a racist comment his daughter made, and I was like, nope, fuck that, I'm out. And I was like, Mom, we're not staying here. Pack up your stuff. I'm never speaking to this guy again. And then he made a dumbass comment when I was downstairs by the pool, and I had to teach him a thing or two about science. And so then, like, word like traveled around, like that I did this. And my mom had a friend who came over and visited today, and my mom was like, hey, did you hear about it? She goes, oh, yeah, I heard.
No.
Uh-huh. And she was like, and he had it coming, and people have been dying to. And then also what they say, what's going around is I called him out, but I was nice.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Thank you. And she was nice about it. Yeah. So I talk like this here, but, I was nice about it. And he needed it.
Right. And
one.
you know what? Maybe you're planting seeds. Maybe in a few years he'll be like, you know what? She was right about that. You never know.
We'll see.
All of the living have hope, Sarah.
Yes. So I don't even know what this was about. Anyways.
I don't either. I do know there was some brainiac that I don't know what we said that set her off.
Oh, what did I say? Make sure to not say it again.
I don't think it was you. It may have been. I think it was something political because she went on a tear on our Facebook where she was like commenting under several things, and I'm getting notifications. Ooh. And it seemed to be something about politics because then she went under the picture of me in my Halloween costume as Olivia Rodrigo, and she was accusing me of cultural appropriation. That's when I knew, okay. Like she's trying to say we're not as liberal or something, and she just lost it. Yeah. She did a whole diatribe. And it said, neither of you, I'm going to read it to you. This is fun.
Oh, I love it. Neither of us. Oh, okay. I'm getting lumped in here too.
She can't stand to fucking listen anymore. You both are so delusional, uneducated, and elitist that it's actually sad. I'm sad for you. Neither of you have a clue about history, economics, civics, etc. But you comment.
I know a lot about etc. Okay. That's where I draw the line.
That's our specialty.
I specialize. Susie, that's our specialty. We have, 582 episodes of etc.
Potpourri. Yes. Miscellany. Okay. But you comment on such constantly. And she meant to say literally, but she wrote literary.
Okay.
Which I delight in.
Yes.
I'm literary, rolling my eyes so hard they're going to roll out of my head.
So not literary or literally.
Literary. Susie, I know you're a doctor, but you are the most ignorant doctor I've ever heard from. I really hope your listeners understand they are mostly getting candy without the brain. Please don't.
Like we've ever sold it as anything else.
And then
we actually say, don't listen to us. Like listen to our show, but don't take any of our advice.
Half of our stories are about poop. I mean, what are you? What do you think this is?
Lower the bar.
I'm not Sanjay Gupta over here.
Right.
Please don't take this as anything other than constructive criticism. Have a great day. Peace sign emoji. P.S. P.S. Saying, quote, I feel like before or after what you're talking about does not make it true. Facts don't care about your feelings. But they do care about our opinions, which is what I feel like means. Words mean things, Summer Renee. And when someone says, I feel like or I think, that denotes an opinion.
Right.
Which everyone has one.
Right. And you clearly think ours stink. So
they're just like assholes in that way.
Yes.
Anyway,
which is like one of our favorite topics. So
I was like, Summer, it's okay. Like, whatever.
I wonder what it was we said.
I think it was that first episode in the new year when we all of a sudden got political. And
did we?
It was just a second. We just had a moment, Summer. I mean, give us a break. We're just humans, ignorant, elitist whatever she said, humans, uneducated.
And you know what? I don't disagree with her on a lot. Like, sometimes I am that.
I am so ignorant. I have a lot to learn.
Oh, so much.
That's why
I don't
read.
know jack shit. Yeah. Yeah, but I like to say we on the good old, Dunning-Kruger scale, kind of past the Mount Stupidity and the Valley of Despair and on the incline. So
everything's going to be okay, Summer.
Everything's okay.
All right. So moving on. Have you?
But I love her constructive criticism, and I always encourage.
Yeah, I think she forgot the constructive part, because it's not really constructive to say that someone's fucking ignorant. Like she did. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's not nice.
No, it isn't, Summer. Okay, I don't know why I keep saying her name. It's like with The Prisoner. Am I going to have to bleep this out too?
But don't bleep it.
Okay. Are you familiar with the how Chrissy Teigen got sober and she recommended a book about, I think it's like...
Yes. Getting mother sober,
name,
like being sober. Yes.
Saying
totally.
like women should stop drinking, essentially. And the woman that wrote the book, after she got sober herself, she started diving into all this, and she created an alternative for AA that she calls Tempest. And it's not... AA is free. This is a company, a for-profit company, where you can like go in a support group and like get a basically the same as AA, where you get a quote unquote sponsor, but they're not like an expert. They're just somebody who's been in your shoes and
a peer.
Yeah, and things like that. That's what it offers. And a lot of women are really into it because AA does come at the whole world through a male lens. It was created by a man and has had a lot of problems with misogyny and preying upon women, in the groups and stuff. So a lot of people think this is a great alternative, and they sort of reject the binary of like either alcoholic or not alcoholic. They realize accurately that there is a real range, and that you don't just go one day from being sober and abstinent to being an alcoholic. There's a journey that goes on. And I wanted to know what you think of such things. I know you don't know the business model exactly, but I wanted your opinion.
I mean, I really do see the value in offering an alternative, and I think it's really important. So in therapy, the thing that can predict outcomes the best is not the treatment model you use, is not the how bad a person is or whatever you want to say. It's the relationship that the therapist and client have, and how much the client believes that this therapist can be like the one to help them. And I think if you apply that same idea to this, that women having something that is like, this is the thing that is going to help me, is worth it to, and I think about the value, because then part of me kind of like was hesitant when they charge for it.
Yeah.
Because that's very different than AA, because AA is is like
a nonprofit.
Peer run.
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit, and then it's run by the individuals, which is good, because if you have good people, like I did for a long time, and technically am still, in Adult Children of Alcoholics, ACA, which is an AA based program. But people who are in Adult Children of Alcoholics are highly responsible, highly cross the T's, check make sure everything is done and the job gets done. And these are all people who are willing participants, who are volunteering to do everything, because it's almost like that's part of the symptoms of that. So it was a really good environment where people were doing their jobs. I have seen many situations where AA has not been that for people because there isn't that structure and there isn't that kind of thing that maybe you do get if you were to pay for something. And then I think about how much could be like financially would be lost if you were somebody who was trying to make AA work for a long time and it wasn't, like, not financially through that per se, but in just like, I don't know, not getting the help you need for a while. That the most important thing is believing that whatever you're doing is going to work. And if for women that is this program, then that I think is super, super helpful. And I think we do need something that kind of approaches it in a different way. And the more I learned about how, I can't remember his name, how that guy started AA and the process that he went through, and we learned a little bit about that in the Michael Pollan book we read, How to Change Your Mind, and how a lot of his, the guy who started AA, his own sobriety, came through the use of hallucinogenics and psychedelic drugs, so you can't, come on. It's made me think that maybe we need to give another option.
I feel the same way about this as I do about, I don't know if you want to call it wellness or dieting or whatever people desire to do
Label.
regarding the food that they eat.
Yes.
That this idea of like one size fits all is so silly. That
So
everybody's brain works in a different way. Everyone has different behaviors and triggers and reward circuitry or whatever goes on that helps us with decision making. And so what works for one person wouldn't work for everybody. And same with AA. It's just not 100% of people are going to respond to it.
Right.
But I am interested in maybe reading the book because I'm curious about how because it seems like she takes the approach of like, no woman should be drinking, period, and that it is like contributive to like patriarchy, essentially, that we're being conned in like the opiate of the masses kind of thing. Yeah, like I want to know what's the argument.
Read it and then give me the summary. Tell me what's up.
Right. While I read it,
and this is more of an argument for why we should just all smoke weed.
Yeah, that's true. I've learned this. I don't want to smoke it, but
just hang out and do weed.
Just do it.
I've been sitting on some. When I got here in Costa Rica, my mom was like, I'm going to make sure this trip is good for you. I'm going to set you up with what she called the medicine man, who gave me 2 chocolates that are mushroom chocolates.
Did you try any?
I've been sitting on them for 2 weeks, and I have not. I've just, like, I have to clear my schedule, and I had to make sure Mom was okay. I can't be, like, going off and having a 6-hour, But I'm going to take, like, 1/4 of one. Nowhere, but I just told my mom that I cannot see her injuries while I'm on any form of drug.
Yes.
Because I'll freak out.
I just read this article in the New York Times. It was an op-ed, and I think the title was, I did ketamine to treat my depression and things got weird. And she was describing how she bought like a package deal in Brazil of like 6 sessions of ketamine.
Yeah.
And some of them went well, and others of them was what you're describing, where like she'd think of something like a clown, and then next thing you know, it was like a scary kind, and she was like, "Get me out of here!" And they'd have to stop the session. And so, if you were introduced to something gross or whatever, that would be an absolute nightmare.
Absolute nightmare. So I've done a lot of, I said, first I'm going to do like some serious like mindfulness of like, my mom is okay. I need to make sure everything is healed. I need to get the clean bill of health that we're going to the doctor's appointment on Thursday. Everything's going to be fine. And then I will have the 1/4 of that and have some fun time surfing.
Teeny tiny. Hey, put that on Close Friends. Ooh,
yeah.
Do that. Even just a picture would be nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes.
Okay. I think Chris.
But one more thing, I have to say that I like didn't look up and didn't like even want to dive into and ask questions. So the guy who was this medicine man looked like, I asked my mom, like, what does he look like? And she's like, he looks like a guy who should be at a golf course. He looked like waspy suburban white. Basically, the patriarchy sold me drugs. And then he told me, he was like, these are really good. They're, I don't know what the name was. The name was something along, and this means nothing to me, but I was like, okay. It was something along the lines of African blue something penis envy.
That's the name
And I
of
was
it?
like, I was like, that, I don't know what that means, but he was like, this is good stuff. It's a blue African something penis envy. And I was like, all I heard was penis envy. And I was like, and blue. And I was like, okay.
You
sure.
are so brave. I would be real nervous about.
I haven't done them yet. They're not, and this is like the guy that my mom's like, oh no, I get this all the time. He's really good. And it's all organic, which like somehow matters. I don't know, like before you do drugs. And then I said I want the not strong stuff. So they come in like chocolates, so you don't have to like it's not like loose and everything. It's all been dosed out and like all. I don't know. You remember
why
one
that's
time I
funny.
pretended to do mushrooms? That was loose, and I was like, I can't control the dose of this. So no, so this is all like dosed out like medicine. And I'm only going to do a quarter because I was like, I have to go slow. And you can always do more. You can't do less. So.
Oh, God. Okay, last thing. I think Christy sent me this. Brainiacs. Brainiacs, by the way, I love when you send me stuff.
Yeah.
So,
shout out to Christy. She went on a first date recently and was like, hey, what should I talk about? And so I sent her an article that was on, I want to say it was that one about the person burning something into liver, and I was like, that might be a little strong for the first date. And then I sent her like some like more nice.
We should have a
one,
service
so.
where like people say, "I'm going to a cocktail party. What should I talk about?" Because I mean that is what Brain Candy is. We're just giving you like little.
We will give these. I feel like that's a
Parlor
close friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Info, for sure.
Yeah. I think she sent me this, and it was an article saying that women who are operated on by male surgeon are 15% more liable to suffer a bad outcome, 32% more likely to die, and then experience complications and be readmitted to hospital than when a woman performs the procedure.
And they've taken into account skill, and it ain't that.
Yeah, they controlled for everything. And when men get surgery, their outcomes are the same regardless of the gender of their surgeon.
Okay. I was also sent this info by another friend, shout out to Amanda. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm never getting anything other than a female surgeon.
Yeah, it's scary.
And then people what I'm annoyed at is any guy who like rolls his eyes, or woman who rolls their eyes when I'm like, no, I'd like a female doctor, or no, I want my doctor to be a woman, and they're like, oh, is it because this is why?
It's just data.
And if I were a woman of color,
exactly,
I wouldn't trust a white doctor and a male doctor.
That's what I was thinking. Like this is just women. It doesn't even account for the intersection of other biases.
Come on. Right.
Yeah. It's so disturbing.
I can't. So disturbing because we can go ahead and make some assumptions.
Yeah.
About and it would not be unfair of us to jump to those conclusions from that data. Oh, now, you know what? File this under things Sarah's mad about in this episode. That's it. Remember how I was like, oh, what did I get back? This.
Yeah. Well, because separately, I read an article about how scientists are learning how to kind of predict when you'll die, unless you have an accident or something, like based on protein.
Unless your mom does things like scale the side of buildings and
based on protein that you have in your body, they can predict with some great accuracy of when you might die. And this
based on proteins.
Yeah. And they were saying how this can have great help. It can help people, but they're like if you're disabled, and then the value of your life being longevity rather than, you know how people just think a long life is a successful life, and that bias towards aging and longevity rather than, just you being a person and having value intrinsically. And so the worry about that, because when you think about these surgeries, that's part of the issue, is like, how much are you of value as a human?
What if they decide, because
you know what I mean?
my God, Susie, that's
Yeah.
a slippery slope.
Yeah. And that's what the disabled community is feeling like. Whoa.
Oh my gosh, this totally right. I never even thought about that because of like the doctor. You know, it's kind of like when I've heard something not the same, but sort of the same of if you have the box checked for organ donor.
Yeah, that myth.
That they like don't work as hard because they're like, oh, which is, I hope God not the truth, because you can have all my organs. Also, side note, I think we did talk about this a long time ago, but my grandma said this before she passed away, that when you say that you want to donate your body to science, you need to be very specific about how you'd like that body to be used, or you will become a test dummy for ballistics and explosives.
Yes.
Because that counts as body to science.
I may be wrong, but I think that you can choose, like, if you want to be donated to a certain school or lab or whatever.
My grandma had it specified that it was UCLA Medical Center, and there was like a card in her wallet. So when they like,
that's so nice.
Here you go. This is it. Yeah.
See, she's a troubleshooter. I love that lady.
Yeah, she is. But
I miss Eleanor.
Oh, I do too. She's here all the time.
Yes,
all the
she
time.
is.
She would say that. She'd be like, I'm right here, so don't worry. And every time I get sad about the voicemail thing, she always shows up in some way, and it's like, don't fucking worry about that. It comes to me in a dream, or like, just feel her little voice with me.
I like that. That's nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Ellie.
Shout out to Ellie. Anyway, that's food for thought about the patriarchy and also death. If you, seriously, I know that study in particular, though, about the proteins and stuff, that doesn't account for, freak accidents or car, whatever. So, like, if you really could know your day of death, you would not want to know.
No way.
What about
way.
If you could just know the protein thing, like how long based on just your DNA?
Nah, I'm good. I already know. I think genetics, I think your genealogy is the biggest indicator. Like, you just look at everybody. They live for fucking ever in my family. Well, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, and I mean, this is basically what insurance companies already do. Like life insurance, they have actuaries that, predict based on your habits.
The future is here. We're all in the Matrix. This is, okay, because, like, now I just think of Minority Report and how, like, they're going to, that's fucking freaky shit, Suze.
Why?
Because if they can, whoever they is in this situation. What is the name of the robots in Terminator? Like, they have like a.
I love that you think I watched that movie.
I know. I was like, you're not gonna fucking know that. Whatever that everybody was screaming it right now. We're just gonna. I should learn this name so that I can forever refer to the people in the future as this corporation. Like.
Yes.
Now I'm trying to think of the one in the movie WALL-E, which I think might be an easier grab for my mind than Terminator.
Let's imagine a bell curve of if you were given a certain amount of time to live, what would be the best amount of time that would like optimize? So like if they said you're dying in 2 weeks, like you wouldn't really have
not enough time.
Yeah.
Who can book flights in that amount of time?
But if
Where
they
am I
said
go?
50 years, it wouldn't really adjust your behavior.
I might forget in that time. My ADD ass would totally forget. I'd be like, hey, Alexa, set a reminder for 49 years, 364 days.
Okay, so what's the time frame that you would think?
This is such a fun question. God, no wonder you were on the challenge and on the because like
the questions.
This is great. Yeah, because like inquisitive minds. I love this. No wonder.
God.
I would say,
maybe
how
10
old am
years.
35. I would want a little. So what I would wait. Okay, so what's like the optimal? Now here's the thing: is like what's the optimal amount of time versus what would you like? Because I would kind of like some time as old, but not that old. Like, I want to chill. and I don't want anybody to like make me feel like I should be doing something, which I understand is just me making me feel like I should be doing something.
By somebody, I mean myself.
By somebody, I mean me. I'd like to be at that retirement age where I could be like, cool, I'm good. I think everything after 75, I'm going to look at as extra innings.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Extra innings.
Yeah. What do you think?
I guess, so when I think about this question, I think about that phrase, live like you were dying, you know, this whatever. Oh, just pretend like you're going to die soon and then you'll like see. But that's not true because then you wouldn't work and you wouldn't do anything. You have to make that balance between like eating and seizing the day. So I would.
I could talk about this for hours. I think the first thing you'd have to do would be prioritize what, like we talked about in a previous episode, what brings your life meaning. Mm-hmm. Because first it would be like what brings my life meaning? Because do you ever have that feeling like? So one of the things why I was so excited to live closer to my brothers is that I wanted what I would call like regular hangouts. Like we would just meet up, and it wasn't like there was this pressure of like, I haven't seen you in 2 years. Yeah. We gotta like make it good. That is sometimes how it is because I have a mom who lives internationally. Like we have to travel, and it's like sometimes when she comes to visit, there's this pressure. We have to make it good. We have to do all the things. And I'm like, I can't because it's a fucking Wednesday and I gotta work, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I think giving yourself permission to not have like I gotta make it good, like enough, you know, that because can we ever really like?
That's a good point. Like just casual
that's never satisfied. We can't.
You can just be.
Yes, a long time ago, episode like 50 or something, we talked about a researcher who said that he is fine with cutting his vacation, going home a couple days early on his vacation, if it meant, like, however you want to leave a vacation on the best day. And most people extend it a day or two too far. They like, it's because then you have that day of like, oh, we're going to leave. Yeah. I don't want to leave. And you should, if you had a really good day, you should just pack it up and leave then, because that's going to be your memory of the trip. That's what you do whenever
you do stand-up comedy. Like, even if you have more jokes to do, yeah. You want to leave on the best laugh. So, like, even if you have more material.
I fucking love our show. I didn't know that. That is so
We're connecting dots over here, people.
We are. I mean, this
Summer.
Yes, Summer.
God.
Is Summer... Okay, hang on a sec.
Yeah.
If Linda had a daughter, she's fucking naming her Summer. She's the girl who babysat you, but didn't pay attention the whole time, was on her phone and probably invited the boyfriend over, and then, like, was talking shit, like, was being like, you're a little brat, but then as soon as the mom would come home, would be so nice to her. I know this person. Fucking Summer.
Summer, classic Summer.
Classic Summer.
I hope
Millennial.
God,
really.
If she's listening, she's going to be even madder. This is not...
I know, but whatever. So is Linda. Those two can just, like... I mean, they see each other at Christmas, so it's fine.
Summer, listen, we're doing our best over here. Don't be mad about it.
Oh, gosh.
I don't even...
Summer probably still lives with Linda.
Do
Let's be real.
Do you want to wind it down? I don't even know how that's possible.
I know. We're off the rails at this point.
Sarah bought my cat the Halloween costumes.
Freaking bats.
Freaking bats, guys.
Wait.
We are not winding it down. This is the opposite of winding it down.
I know. That's the opposite. But this is like, I pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
If you do not know, Susie and I are actual GIFs, GIFs, however the hell you want to say it, that you can go on Giphy or Jiffy or whatever the hell you call it, and you could type in Susie Meister or Sarah Rice or Brain Candy, and you could, if you want to send somebody the GIF that says frickin' facts, you can do that.
The world is your oyster.
There is a Sarah/Susie reaction GIF for basically every emotion.
Yes.
You could possibly experience. And if there isn't, I will make one. Because I did not know these existed until, like, 2 days ago.
Yeah, you can do it
And
on
now
Twitter.
every friend of mine has been receiving only Sarah reaction gifts as my answer to every text message. People are probably like, wow, Sarah's responding to text messages all of a sudden. Yes, I am.
They have on Twitter, if you search Sarah BCP, you can find those gifts on there to respond to people.
It's the best.
On Instagram. The best way that I've found to find them on Instagram is to do @Wave Network, and they all come up.
Nice.
And then Facebook, I think. It's just a whole wild, brave new world.
It's so fun.
Frickin' facts.
I can't
Check
wait to see
them out.
those frickin' facts.
And follow us on Patreon because apparently that's where the action is now at the close friends, let's be social level.
Yes.
Anyway,
Ooh,
we got to go. We don't even have time for a wind down.
I know, we don't. We've just been like chatting this whole time. I'm sorry, it's my fault.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.